Welcome into this week's PTN Extra. Good to be with you. Alyssa Orange, Courtney Mims, and Mike Irwin. And just like the College World Series right now, we're talking SEC versus ACC. By the way, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be really fun.
We're not talking baseball. We're talking basketball, and the SEC-ACC Challenge schedule announced this afternoon. We got it leaked a little early. The university has confirmed it. Arkansas will face Miami going to Coral Gables for that game against the Hurricanes on December 3rd. So it should be fun. Last year was the first year that they played in it, and so here we are in year two, and we'll talk about the matchups. But first and foremost, what do we think about the matchup with Miami?
I just think it's a dud game.
We on the same page, man.
I mean, look, they were 15-17 last year, 6-14 in their own conference. Now they were 11-6 at home. You shouldn't lose 6 games at home. So if you just want to win the game, yeah, this is a good matchup. And Calipari went up against them last year in this thing
at Kentucky
and just beat the snot out of them, 22 points. So it's all good if you want to win it, and I guess that's all that really matters. Beat these guys and go on to other things.
And Courtney, fans were just more excited when Duke was on the schedule last year.
Absolutely. Well, you have a powerhouse, a blue blood like Duke coming to Bud Walton Arena. That game was electric. It was exciting. So I think everyone kind of was let down a little bit when they saw Miami announced as Arkansas's opponent for the ACC-SEC Challenge. Now, I will say there are some fans seeing the optimism in it. You know, we put something out on Pig Trail Nation, and I thought it was interesting to see kind of what people said, like Mike's point.
If you want to win.
We want to win the game, so yeah, we think Miami's a good team to do that against. But they also made some good points about flights. They were like, hey, we can get to Miami $300 round trip.
There were people talking about flying to this game?
They were talking about flying to this game. They said, I can get there $300 from XNA. I said, okay, all right, be back by Wednesday. So good for you, I guess. And there was other people that brought up a great point that my dad also brought up as a college basketball coach.
We know.
I just want to let everyone know, just in case anybody
doesn't know. Really do?
Listen,
Seriously?
just in case anybody doesn't know, he is a college basketball coach in the state of Florida, and you guys are laughing.
I'm spicy today, y'all. Sorry.
You don't know how many people I've gotten that question from of like, wait, does your dad coach? Yes, he does. So I say it every time as kind of a joke.
I can only do that because we're friends.
Well, did you call him about this match?
I did. Recruiting, and we're going to get to the recruiting.
I can't even make my point on the show today, y'all. We're having fun in summer, everybody. But the point is, and some other fans made it recruiting. Yeah. It does wonders for recruiting. If you're trying to recruit in the state of Florida, that is a good matchup to have, going to Miami, going to the hotbed of Miami for recruiting purposes. I don't think it's a bad thing, and maybe the players will enjoy it going down there and getting to play in Coral Gables.
We know it'll be warm and there'll be palm trees. Arkansas doesn't have that, so I guess you've got that going for you. I'm going to read through the matchups that we have throughout the SEC and the ACC real fast, guys. Already mentioned Arkansas and Miami. Cal, who are new members to the ACC, they're going to play at Missouri, Florida State at LSU, Georgia Tech at Oklahoma, Kentucky at Clemson, Notre Dame at Georgia, Ole Miss at Louisville, South Carolina at Boston College, Syracuse at Tennessee, Wake Forest at Texas A&M, Alabama at North Carolina, Auburn at Duke, Pitt at Mississippi State, Texas at NC State, Vanderbilt at Virginia Tech, and Virginia at Florida. Hope you're taking notes and wrote all those down because that's a lot of basketball.
2 of them kind of stand out: Alabama at North Carolina and Auburn Duke. Those will be good games. All four good programs. And who knows who will win that, but that's good. I mean, I guess I'll watch and go, yeah, okay, it'll show us how good is Alabama, how good is Auburn, things like that. But a lot of these games, Cal and Mizzou.
Not a lot.
Is there like a rivalry there?
doesn't really.
I wonder what Drinkwitz would say about Cal. What does Drinkwitz think about Cal?
I'm going to hold on to Drinkwitz towards the end because this is PTN Extra. We talk about whatever we want to. 1 second on that. But Courtney, you had mentioned the rumor about Louisville possibly being the matchup for the Razorbacks with Kenny Payne coming over here after getting fired last year. It didn't happen, but I think you make a really good point on why that would have been a good fit.
Yeah, well, the storylines, you just mentioned it. Kenny Payne coming over here. You had Cal, who was at Kentucky, and that was a rivalry. I'm going to say that in quotes. I know some people in Kentucky disagree that it was, but it was a rivalry. And so you had an awesome opportunity, especially with Pat Kelsey taking over there and so much excitement now around the Louisville program. I would have liked to see Pat Kelsey go up against Coach Cal. I thought that would have been a really cool matchup. I don't know. I would have liked to see that matchup. I think a lot of Arkansas fans would have too, but again.
And how about a rematch with Duke? I mean, you beat
Okay,
them,
sure.
you beat them last year here. Now go to their place.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Arkansas' schedule is pretty challenging already next year.
Sure.
That would have been even more,
yeah.
make it more challenging, but it would have been a big hype.
So is there another game? Because they weren't going to do Arkansas-Duke back-to-back years, unfortunately. So was there another opponent you'd have rather seen Arkansas go up against?
Yeah, I think Louisville. I think your point is it's a good, if you play them there, that's where it would have been the hype.
But I think that's what they were talking about. Everywhere I saw it was going to be Arkansas going there. So I thought, oh, that'd be really fun. So I completely agree with you. But to go to with your point now, you look at that non-con schedule that they've already announced. You have Oakland coming to Bud Walton Arena. That's going to be a fun thing for Coach Cal to get another stab at Oakland this season. Then you have Michigan at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a fun matchup too. I know a lot of fans were like, ooh, we're getting to play at Madison Square Garden. And then you also have a storyline there with John L. Davis going up against his former coach. So I think that one could be fun. I just think this one's a little lackluster for me.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Man, in the world of NIL and transfer portal, there's always going to be storylines like that because everyone's moving every which way. You know, I'd have really loved, because we figured Arkansas was going to go on the road because they hosted last year, for them to go to Carolina. It is a fun place to play.
Sure.
And even though Syracuse is down right now in terms of Syracuse basketball, going into what was the Carrier Dome, and it's not the Carrier Dome anymore, but way back in my ACC days would be a really cool environment, again, to kind of check off a bucket list place to play in college basketball.
But what happened to SEC Big 12? I mean, that to me is much more. They're right next to each other.
Well, it went away.
I know, but why?
It's not here anymore.
Why? I mean, you just, maybe if you get over onto the eastern side of the SEC, this AC thing starts becoming a bigger deal. But around here especially, I mean, teams like TCU and Baylor and Oklahoma State.
For Arkansas, it makes sense regionally, but you look at Kentucky and you look at Georgia and you look at Florida, who play ACC rivals every year. And so you got to look at those teams too. And I'm not saying don't, think about Arkansas, but they're teams who play ACC teams as their rival every single year. So, and then I guess if we want to take this a step further, when you look at college basketball, where are the strong conferences now? Are you putting the two strongest conferences against each other, or should it be the SEC Big Ten? Or should we have kept the Big 12?
Yeah.
I think Big 12 is plenty strong. I mean, they did take two teams out of them and add them to the SEC, so maybe that changes the balance. But I mean, Baylor, come on,
Sure.
they're good.
And that's who Arkansas finished
And
the Big 12
Kansas,
SEC tournament with.
so
Yeah,
come
this
on.
challenge with. Absolutely. I asked you other matchups that we didn't see. Was there anything you would have wished we'd have seen?
I think Louisville's the biggest one, having Arkansas go up against
Not even
Louisville.
an Arkansas team.
Oh, okay.
Even if it was just like, would you have loved to see maybe, I get why they put Alabama and North Carolina together,
yes.
right? But maybe Alabama and a Duke together or
Yeah,
anything like that.
That's the switch I was going to make. Just sort of
Just switch
reverse
'em,
these two.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see Alabama and Duke.
You know what I would have done?
What?
I would have put Virginia Tech against A&M.
Ooh,
Hello,
that's a good
Buzz
one.
Williams. Let's go back to Blacksburg.
That is a really good idea. I like that as well because I think those teams would match up well against each other too. So maybe switching Virginia Tech around to take on A&M, and then who is A&M taking on?
A&M is taking on Wake Forest.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you could put maybe
Why didn't they ask
Vandy and
us?
Wake Forest.
Why didn't they
together.
ask
I don't know
us?
why they didn't ask
We could
us.
have done this whole schedule.
Look at Clemson. I mean, Clemson is a team too. Final Four team or Elite Eight team
Yeah, they were in
last
the
year.
Elite Eight, yes.
A team that has a whole lot of momentum, and you give them a team like Kentucky. I mean, that's probably going to be really fun too. We'll see what's going on over there.
There is some fun matchups there when you really look at who these teams are bringing in, and when you get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, there's some fun, but I really do believe that there's some teams that won over on this whole challenge thing, and you look at Alabama fans, they're like, yeah, we're excited. And then you look at Auburn fans, they're super excited as well. And everyone else is like, okay, all right, this is fine.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just out to lunch. The idea that Hog fans are going to jump on a plane and go to Miami to watch this game just
Hey, I was
blows
just
me
saying
away.
that was
all
one
I'm saying,
person.
one person says, but it is December 3rd, and it's a lot warmer in Miami than
Well,
it
then,
is in
yeah, but
Arkansas.
just be honest. I want to go down there and get warm.
Well, there you go. And
Okay.
catch a basketball game while you're at it. Maybe a football game at
But I'd
Hard
rather
Rock
go, I'd
Stadium.
rather go to the Bahamas or
I'm a little
whatever they
biased.
did last year. That thing where you go to that weird place with the.
Yeah.
Maui?
What was that thing that they were in where you could slide down the?
Oh,
waterfall?
Yeah,
Atlantis.
Atlantis. They've
Yeah,
got
we're
it for
trying-
Atlantis.
We're trying to go to the Bahamas.
That'd be
One of
great.
these days.
Can we go to
better.
the Bahamas,
That's
Coach Cal?
better. That's better than
Can we go to the
Florida.
Bahamas? Yeah,
Can we go to the
we're gonna try.
Why
Hey,
didn't you send us to that last year?
football season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know that really big battle with Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, important. Speaking of Drinkowitz, did you see Lane Kiffin's tweet today? Well, so he said, I didn't think anyone could be more embarrassing than Brian Kelly. And then he
And then he retweeted Drinkowitz's with the guitar, right? He's like, nah, 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 nah. Oh yeah, that's
that
Lane,
was
right?
right up your alley.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see his reaction
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
Lane Kiffin retweeted it, but I figured you'd get a kick out of that.
It was interesting.
Okay, all right. We know how much
Can
you
he
love.
really play the guitar?
It didn't look like he was.
You know
he
what?
was
We'll ask him
playing
at SEC Media Days.
it. Ooh, okay.
Or not. Not going to waste a question on
'Cause
that, but you know, whatever.
I don't think Sam Pittman can. I don't
Play
think.
the
No.
guitar?
Yeah. Do you think he
He
plays?
went. Didn't he go up on stage with Foreigner?
Maybe he
Sure.
can. Maybe he could.
So maybe he can.
Maybe, you know, they're back at the amp. Maybe he's back at the
Yeah, if
Foreigner
that would be
concert
cool
in a
if
few
he
weeks.
if he pulled out one of those amps and did a thing like from
Jukebox
what was the name of that
Hero.
That would be
movie?
really
Back to the
cool.
Future.
Sam
where,
Pittman playing Jukebox Hero. I mean,
Back to the Future. Where you doing the little guitar thing and Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
What if he did that? What if Cal did that?
Cal.
or Cal.
Or
Pitt,
Sam.
Oh, Sam. I'm sorry, I'm getting Sam and Cal mixed
Or,
up.
or Sam and Cal.
Sam and
Sam
Cal.
and Cal.
Well, Cal
We're
would
just
have to
gonna
be on
have
the drums.
just gonna have a Razorback head coaching band. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Who's gonna see lead vocals? Can anybody sing?
Mike Neighbors? Can he
Yeah,
sing?
he can sing, and he can
Anybody
play
can
some guitar too. I was gonna put him on the guitar.
That's
he can
what we
sing.
need to do is have the Mike Neighbors Drinkowitz challenge on the guitar.
Ooh, okay.
If
I think-
Drinkowitz can actually play guitar.
Yeah, I think Neighbors would win that hands down anyways, but we digress. We started with basketball, we end with the guitar. You never know where PTN Extra is going to go these days. It's the summer. We can talk about whatever we want to. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.